We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm looking at the wrong camera here. Welcome to the channel. Good morning, everybody. It is me, Chavez, and I am back with another NBA player prop live stream for you all. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 2023. Hope you're all doing well and in good spirits. Regardless of the format, the introduction pretty much stays the same. I mean it. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're always in good spirits. Never want anybody to be pissed off about anything. But after last night, a little pissed off. Welcome to the channel. Hit that like button on your way in. I am really bad about mentioning the like button, but it's very important to hit that like button because it shows the algorithms that this stream is being watched. So this content is being watched. So it goes a long way for sure. Yeah, so very similar to our videos when we upload these videos on the channel, we're going to follow a very similar format. All picks have been final. We know the results of our picks, so we'll go ahead and do a recap on our plays from yesterday. And then I'd have some plays on my mind. I have some plays on my radar. And hopefully with your suggestions today, I'll open it up to you all, as I always do, to drop a comment, drop a player prop suggestion that you have your eyes on. Hopefully with all your suggestions, we can build out a slip today. We can build out a 5-pick or a 6-pick slip today. And if that slip hits, we'll figure out a way to kick some of that back to y'all. Maybe do like 3 tiers, in a giveaway kind of thing. So yeah, that's what we got on the agenda today. So if you have questions, if you have player props you want me to dig into, be sure to drop those in the comment section of the stream. And once it's time for that to take place, I'll just go in order in which you posted them. So let's just recap our plays from yesterday and get this out the way, because yesterday was a little tilting. So my first sip of coffee this morning, it's always really, really good. Nothing like that first sip. The last sip is pretty good too, but that first sip is great. So 3 plays we talked about. Julius Randle, 4.5 assists, clears it. Very, very easily clears it. If you played his rebounding prop, probably not so much, because he didn't do a whole lot of boarding. He was doing a whole lot of scoring. But he did dish out 5 assists, I believe, maybe 6. I got to double check, but definitely over 4.5. His teammate Jalen Brunson had himself a difficult night from a fantasy point perspective, from a PRA perspective. Now, he did put up a fair amount of points. He did do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but he didn't do enough of the little bit of this and a little bit of that to get over 35 PRA. When all the dust settled, he misses 3 free throws. Asking someone to go perfect from the free throw line sometimes is a lot to ask, but I feel like as a professional athlete, this is part of your job. Free throws. I hear about dudes in the gym shooting 10,000 free throws a day. One-arm free throws, blindfolded free throws with clowns in the stands distracting them so they can get used to, different environments. So I kind of expect free throws to be hit. That's why they're called free. So he misses those 3 free throws, which had he knocked down would have gotten him over 35 PRA. So he ends with 33. That was our first loss. Our second loss, D'Angelo Russell, 16.5 points and rebounds. Didn't play in the third quarter. Sat out, started Darvin Ham, started Austin Reeves. And I mean, I think that was one of those rotation switches where they just went with a different look. If Austin Reeves doesn't catch fire in the third quarter, it's possible that we see a normal rotation for D'Lo. But once Austin Reeves started hitting threes and just doing Austin Reeves. He looked like the Austin Reeves we saw in the playoffs last year. That's the first game I've seen this season that he actually looked like the guy we were all talking about last season. Once that started happening, it was a wrap for D'Lo. I think he played a few minutes in the fourth quarter, didn't touch the ball, didn't shoot the ball, didn't score at all. So he ends with 9 points and rebounds. Honestly, had I known that the rotation was going to get messed up, I would have stayed away. I did put this in the Discord, though, because I had a nice little interaction with one of our members about the inconsistencies of D'Lo. But I said, if his shot's not falling, we're in trouble. And his shot wasn't falling. 3 for 10 in the first half. It's not going to get it done, especially when you have Austin Reeves off the bench who's got the hot hand. So 30% from the field, no, it's not going to get it done. So I probably would have sat him down also if I was Darvin Ham, but at the same time, I needed him out there to hit the over to give us a winning day, and it didn't work out. So we go 2-1 with our plays. Or excuse me, we go 1-2. I wish we went 2-1. We go 1-2 with our plays. Not the best of days. What's going on, Darrell? Good morning to you, sir. Appreciate you stopping by. Early morning. I mean, 8:30 is not that early. I'm sure most of you have been up for a while, but for a stream, mornings are probably not the best time, but I think this will catch on. I think the morning times will start catching on, for sure. So we go 1-2 with our picks. Not the best of days. Definitely need to bounce back today. But I was thinking about this because the whole Discord had a bad night. Well, a lot of the Discord had a bad night. We were on a lot of the same plays, but also the blowout in Milwaukee really didn't help anything. Another thing, Thibodeau kept Brunson on the bench a little too long in the fourth quarter, in my opinion. I guess he just felt like it wasn't necessary for him to play extra minutes. That game got kind of ugly in the fourth quarter. And by the time Brunson got in, the game was pretty much out of reach. So it was just a really ugly day for basketball. Even the Suns and Phoenix game, which I thought would be a lot more competitive, and it was. But just the way it ended with that bullshit timeout that LeBron called, and then KD chucking a three that like whiffs, it hits the bottom of the net. Like, that was just terrible. That was a terrible way to end the game. So a lot of people were tilting last night. So, Devin Booker's taco. I should have created a slide for that rotten, spoiled ass taco. We should do something on the live stream. We should do a taco wall of shame. Like, the worst taco you've ever had at any restaurant, any fast food chain, at your friend's house, your friend's mom try to make tacos or something, and then we'll name a taco after a player. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be like the Devin Booker taco. Last year would have been like Trae Young taco, right? Jalen Brunson taco. That dude's disappointed us plenty this season, but when he doesn't have a taco attached to his name usually performs. So, oh man. So yeah, a lot to tilt over yesterday in those two NBA games, but losing is part of the process. I mean, look, I don't want to lose every day. I don't want to lose any days. I don't want to get used to losing, but it's important that we acknowledge that losing is part of the process. Like, if you think you're going 5-0, 6-0 every single day for the rest of your life, you're never going to lose again. You're crazy. You're crazy. It's important just to know, like, hey, it's possible that I lose today or tomorrow. And the quicker you acknowledge that, the faster you move on. It helps you build that thick skin. That's all part of that's all part of the process. It's all part of it's essentially, this is just gambling. It's risk taking. You take risks. Sometimes they don't pay off. So get used to that. Although I don't want to lose, my Google app is updating right now. Although I don't want to lose anymore. What I want and what is two different things. So, man, Nurkic killed my 6 man. I hit 5 out of 6. Wish I could show the damn board. Yeah, dude, Nurkic was I wasn't really on Nurkic yesterday, but late last night after the Bucks and the Knicks finished, one of our guys in the Discord kind of threw a YOLO rage a YOLO rage slip out there. They were all solid plays. We don't typically reach on plays, but when you get down to one game, you're kind of limited as to the players you can put in your slip. So Nurkic was in it over fantasy points, and he picks up like 2 fouls in the first quarter and just destroys that shit, you know, and then AD goes off, dude. I mean, Nurkic's a pretty decent defender. I do believe that if he was in the game for, you know, his normal minutes, I don't think AD explodes for 30 fantasy points in the first half. I think he had like 30 fantasy points. He had some crazy numbers. He had like 20. Didn't he have like 21 points at the half or something like that? So yeah, Nurkic killed a lot of people, man. I mean, if you play Nurkic and Brunson in the same lineup, like Nurkic, Brunson, and Booker, like, ugh. Yeah, that was gross, man. That was gross. All right, so let's move on. So we can take a look at the 3 plays I talked about in the early video, the early look video. Now, I don't know if these plays are still on the board or if they're at their original line. So it's possible that they have bumped. It's also possible that they haven't bumped because these are kind of like off the radar plays. And we have so many games tonight, there's more options. So the first play we talked about, also, any interest in using props.cash, use my promo code, sign up, get 25% off. It's free. Just get, you know, get your free stuff. Use my promo code and get free stuff. It's fun. All right. Talk about Saddiq Bey points, 12.5, liking the over on this one. Talked about Gordon Hayward's rebounds, 4.5, like the over on this one. And we talked about last Jalen Duren points, 11.5. I like the over on this one as well. So all 3 of these plays were on the board at the time of the recording last night. I have not checked the board to see if they are still there or if they're at their same line, but we can definitely pop over to Prizepicks and check these out. So I'm going to pull up Jalen Duren first, and his points are still there. Pull up Saddiq Bey, and his points are still there. And lastly, we're going to pull up, not Hayward. There you go. So all 3 plays are still on the board. If you had any interest in playing these, I break them down in the early video. I tell you why I like these plays. I think they're all in solid spots to hit. Obviously, we all know how good Jalen Duren is. We all know the step he's taken this season. Looks really good in his second year. Gordon Hayward rebounds and assists. Those are lines that we often attack if they're at the right place. I think 4.5 is a great spot to hit. It starts getting a little risky when it's at like 5.5, but I like this line. And maybe you don't really care about Saddiq Bey, but with the injury to Jalen Johnson in Atlanta, he's out with that wrist injury. It's opened up a ton of minutes. If you look at his game logs, if you look at his minutes, Saddiq Bey is getting like 33 minutes a game. It's a huge increase. And he's scoring a lot relative to his lines. Like he's going well over 12.5 points in these games. So great odds, great situation, great environment for Saddiq Bey. So those are 3 plays I like for today. Those aren't the only plays I like, but that kicked things off. So this is where you come in. You got any plays you want me to dig into? You got any suggestions? Definitely drop a comment in the drop a comment. Drop a name in the comment section, and then we'll dig into it. All right, let's see. What's going on, Israel? Didn't sleep. Morning is good because you got better vision before lock. I'm liking Wemby again tonight. 95% of the time I play Wemby, he hits. Yeah. Aside from his the 2 games like at the beginning, what am I trying to say here? His first 2 games. Aside from those games where he looked so nervous. Like he looked so nervous. He was definitely like not the same guy we're looking at now. I mean, if you think about it, this is a 19-year-old kid playing in America. Like, shit, try moving to a new city. Try moving to a new city and make friends. Like a city in your state. Go move to a new city and see how like difficult that is. And you take this kid and you put him in this environment, and I'm sure he has a great support system in San Antonio, but it's tough. After those games, he's been great. And once he's settled in, he's got the teammates around him that are supporting him, and he got pop. Yeah, Wemby's good. The only thing about Wemby is the better he plays, the higher his lines are going to get. So at some point, we want to see one of these shitty games because it'll bring the lines back down, and then we can jump back on it, and we can start taking the overs again. So definitely like him tonight. I think I was looking at his points and rebounds tonight, and his rebounds tonight. What were you looking at, Israel? What were you looking at on Wemby? What's going on, Alex? What's going on, Howard? Welcome. Good morning. What's up, Sauce? My boy Sauce in the house. What's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. Super helpful to the stream, super helpful to the growth of this channel. All right, we can starting to get some player prop suggestions come in. So if you're just coming in, what I mentioned in the intro of the video is I got 3 plays that I like from my video. Those plays are still on the board. I really want to build out a slip, maybe 2 slips today using all of these suggestions. If they all look good, if they all grade out well on props.cash, I want to build out a slip, maybe 2. And then if those slips hit, create like some kind of tiers, like a 3-tier, giveaway or something. If they hit, I think that'll be fun. But I definitely want to build a slip today. I think we got enough people in the chat. I think we'll have enough suggestions to get it done. So if you're cool with that, that's something we'll add to the stream today. All right, so let's see. All right, let's start with we're going to start here at the top with Israel, Karl Anthony Towns, PRA, and then we'll get into Mikal Bridges, points and rebounds, and then we'll just keep it going. We'll just keep it flowing like the Nile. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. Another player I was looking at was Jalen Suggs. Let me share this real quick before we get into props.cash. So I've already built out a slip using my 3 plays. Here's the slip I have. So I built out a 6-pick flex last night early this morning at 1:02 a.m. Jalen Duren over points, Sadiq Bey over points, Hayward over rebounds. And I got Jalen Suggs over points and rebounds, Daniel Gafford over rebounds, and then Wemby. There's Wemby right there, Izzy. 30.5 PRA. So I was on Wemby as well. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I got so far. 6-pick flex. I put $9.50 on it. Yeah. That's it. If it hits, $237. Double up is $19. Profit is profit. All right. Let's head over to props.cash. Starting off with Karl Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler's favorite player. That Twin Tower shit's working out pretty well this season. Last season, it looked pretty bad. It looked like it wasn't going to work out with Rudy Gobert there. But making it work this season. It might just be the Anthony Edwards impact, right? Like, that dude's so good. He just makes it work. But not too many teams put bigs out there like that. Cat's pretty damn athletic. Gobert is not like some slouch. He's definitely not Wemby athletic, or Chet with the handles, but he's not like some traditional big that just sits in the paint and can't move, like he's for a 5, he moves pretty well. So you got some athleticism, in the front court as well as size. Not too many teams can match that. All right, let's do this. Karl Anthony Towns, PRA. So we're looking up his PRA, but I haven't even checked to see what it is over on Prizepicks. 35.5 on Prizepicks. We're getting it 35.5. No, 35.0. I'm tripping. It's 35.5. I'm seeing things. So same line, identical line, Prizepicks, props.cash. Minus 118 odds on the over, minus 105 on the under. So slight juice to the over. The slightest of juice to the over. Looking at his 10 games, he's gone over this in 6. Looking at his last 5, he's gone over this in 3. So 60% hit rate, no matter how you look at it. So what he has going for him in this game, he's playing San Antonio. That's a good thing because they are pretty much bottom of the league in every single defensive category, statistical category. And then in terms of his projections, projected for 36.17. So like a smidge over, a smidge over. So rebounds look like a very strong prop as well. What's anchoring this PRA are his points and rebounds. So on the 35.5 line, based off actions, 32 of those 35 are coming from points and rebounds. That's a huge percentage. So if you know that already, then you can also just look to the rebounds and say, that's going to be part of the PRA. You wanted to split those up and play one in a slip and one in another slip. You could do that. But his PRA looks fine. Matchup is great. Head-to-head. One meeting versus San Antonio this year, 12 rebounds, 29 points. Yeah, he goes over already. We don't even have to look at assist. 43 PRA. If this plays out similarly, then yeah, he goes over for sure. But every game is different. So I try not to look at the last game and say that's exactly what's going to happen in this game. But it does give you an idea. Unless some drastic shit happens with a team from one game to the next, like they're going to be the same team. So it is easier in the NBA, I think, to paint that picture versus like the NFL, MLB. But to expect him to get exactly 43 PRA again, like I don't like to do that. I think the over is highly likely. I will say that. Minutes look strong. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing. So over his last 10. Over his last 10 games, minutes are pretty good. 34 minutes a game. We always look at minutes. Nothing stands out here. Nothing wonky stands out here. You know he's going to put his shots up. You know he's going to get boards. He lives around the rim. He can hit threes. I think he's in a good spot. So, yeah, over on Karl Anthony Towns, PRA looks good. Also on his rebounds. Points and rebounds. Slight juice to the over on this one. 32.5. You could possibly look at that one. The other one, Mikal Bridges, points and rebounds, I think it was. We'll look at all his stuff. So even if it's not points and rebounds, we'll cover it all. So I'll definitely cover the prop that you wanted. We'll just blanket it right here. All right, so let's start with his points. 25.5, slight juice to the over. 5.5 rebounds, slight juice to the over. Assists look good. 3.5 assists. Strong juice to the over. PRA. All his shit looks good. Points and rebounds. Slight juice to the over. 31.5. Is that right? That's high. Is that right? I'm always surprised when I see these lines. I'm like, nah, that can't be right. 30.5. Hey-yo. 30.5. All right. So at 31.5, 4 out of 10 games. At 30.5, that's 5 out of 10 games. So it does increase his odds, or excuse me, it does increase his hit rate. You want to look at his projections slightly under this. But that line movement does swing the odds more in favor of the over. And in Atlanta's defense, we're seeing green and yellow, which is what we want to see. Giving up bottom of the league in defending, or just giving up points. Slightly worse than the league average in rebounds allowed. 3 points. 3-pointers. 3-pointers attempted here. 3-point percentage here. 3-pointers made up. Wait, 3-point. Yeah, I think this is 3 points attempted. If it was 3-pointers made, it'd have the M. So this is percentage here. So there you go. Field goal percentage. I mean, Atlanta's defense is, I think they're in a spot to attack for sure. So yeah, that's Mikal. The hell? That's Mikal Bridges' points and rebounds. I'm gonna look up Wemby too, Israel. I'm gonna look up Wemby because I did put him. I already looked him up for his PRA last night, but it was at 1 a.m. and I got fresher eyes right now, so I'm gonna go back and we'll look at his. We'll definitely look at his numbers. Max Strus with no Levert. Max Strus with no Gerald Levert tonight. I know it's Karis Levert. All right, so Strus PR. Kobe White PR. And then Michael Porter Jr. rebounds and assists. What's going on, Marquise? Reagan, what's going on? Brandon, what's going on? Thank y'all for stopping by, popping in. Hit that like button on your way in. I know how to say that. My words are all over the place today. All right. Wemby, Strus, PR, and Kobe White, PR. Kobe White was popping yesterday. I thought I put him in that 6-pick flex. I didn't. I may have put Suggs in. I may have put Suggs in place of him. But Kobe White's in a good spot too. So Strus, right? Strus, PR. No Gerald Levert. Do y'all know who Gerald Levert is? I really, really date myself when I say stuff like that. All right, Max Strus. Now he's sitting at 17.5 over on props.cash. I'm assuming that's what the line is on Prizepicks because I don't see any different lines here on these books. So if it's at 17.5, you are getting slight juice to the over on Max Strus PR. Yeah, it's 17.5. So that's positive number one. 4 out of the last 10 games he's gone over. But let's do this. Let's remove Levert and let's see if that changes anything. Not really. So it's 3 out of the last 10 games versus 4 out of the last 10 games. But when we take Levert out again, 3 out of the last 5 games without Levert. That's another way you can look at this. Also, you can look at this like back-to-back games without Levert in. He's hit 25 or more PR versus looking at it from the 10-game view and saying that's a shitty percentage. This looks cleaner. It's all true data. You're not like skewing the numbers or anything. 3 out of 5 games. It is right there without Levert. Oh, I think I stayed away from this one. I think the deciding factor was between Suggs and Strus or Suggs and White. I looked at Strus too, but I think that Orlando defense at first glance, I thought I'm going to go with Suggs on the other side because I think the matchup is a little friendlier, but it doesn't really matter sometimes with these matchups because the players are going to play. And you're not asking him to go out there and put on a LeBron performance. So, but yeah, me personally, my experience with playing players against the Magic for me personally, I always feel like I just picked the wrong day. The Magic is the Magic is the team for me where I just can't get their player props right. Suggs, I've had success with Suggs, but Boncaro, no. Wagner, no. Fultz, no. So Suggs has been my one little ray of light there. Orlando defense, pretty strong. We know that. Pretty strong, legitimately strong. Not like strong because strength of schedule, strong because every team they play is missing their superstar. They're legitimately strong and legitimately good this season. So strong defense, but Max Strus has very good projections. So check this out. So we're already getting favorable odds. We know LeVert's out. We're looking at his points and rebounds here. Sets a 18.87, which is a little over 1 point in rebound. So 18.95. I messed up that math. So there are his projections for points and rebounds versus the Magic. I think this is in a good spot. Without LeVert, Strus is averaging 30 minutes in those games. If we want to just shorten this view, 35.7 minutes in the last 5 games played without Caris LeVert. 4 out of those 5 games all this season. So relevant games. So Strus looks pretty strong too. Strus looks good. Kobe White. I mean, his matchup is very, very strong versus the Hornets. So it's already on points and rebounds, 22.5 for Kobe White. I'm just going to pop over to Prizepicks and see what it is. 21.5 on Prizepicks. So it is 1 point lower on Prizepicks. So that's +1. +2. Over his last 5 games, he's gone over this 3 times. +3, Charlotte defense. I'm not going to go into detail about what they do. You can see it on the screen. Give up a lot. +4. Projections look pretty strong. 23.39 points and rebounds right here. And then where are you at, Levine? Okay, let's take Levine out. And look at that. So last 5 games played without Zach LaVine. He's gone over this in all 5 games. 3 of those games are this season. So 3 straight games this season without LaVine. He's gone over this line. How does this look over his last 10? So this season, let's look at this. Yeah. So 3 straight games without LaVine. Kobe White is in a good spot. That's a strong one right there. I would hit the over on this one. And I'm going to put this one on my board. So I don't want to play my 3 plays again in a new slip. I already have it in a slip. I don't want to double down on them. So as we come across plays, I'll just start removing like these plays here. So it'll be a fresh new slip, fresh new faces in this entry here. But Kobe White looks real good. That's a good one. That's a real good one, Darrell. Jalen Suggs, PRA. I love his PR, Howard. I love Jalen Suggs' PR. I got it in a slip. Let's pull up his PRA, though. Give you some insight there. Over his last 10, he's hit this in 60% of games. Over his last 5, he's hit this in 60% of games. Jalen Suggs' PRA is not 17.5. I think it's 16.5. So it is 17.5. It definitely bumped. It definitely bumped because I got his rebounds and points this morning at 13.5. So very rare they just bump one line. They'll bump them all. So 17.5 is the correct line. So coin flip odds projections are 16.5. Matchup versus Cleveland is not the best just because of, this red and yellow tell you they rank pretty high in allowing points and allowing assists. But Jalen Suggs versus the Cleveland Cavaliers doesn't have any games this season, unfortunately, to look at, but we do know that he can pop off for this. So with the increased lines, if you got it at 16.5, it looks great. If you're trying to play it at 17.5, I would ask you, if you're married to that play, maybe there's another play that's out there that is a bit stronger. But considering his minutes this season, I mean, they are on a little bit of a downward trend here. I don't know why, though. Shots are pretty consistent aside from this game. Looks like he's giving us the middle finger. So not sure what's going on with his minutes. I'm not too up to date on the Magic rotation, but if anybody is, I'm trying to get this gnat in my apartment. Let me know in the comment section, because that's weird to see his minutes just kind of jump off a cliff. Blowout, maybe. But yeah, 16.5 PRA for Suggs look great. 17.5. I'm not really on it as much. Those line bumps make a huge difference. One whole number makes a huge difference. The 0.5 you can kind of like play around with, but the one whole number is a little bit harder to digest. Let's see. All right, Sauce. Michael Porter Jr. rebounds and assists. What's up, Lil Bud? Hope everybody's doing well. KV, what's going on, man? The random. Welcome in. All right, we're gonna move on to MPJ rebounds and assists. Lil Bud, we just talked about Kobe White's PRA. We like it. In fact, we like it so much that we talked about a lot of his props, but the one I'm going to add into my slip here today is this 21.5 points and rebounds. We like it here on the stream. So that one's going to be put into a slip. Landscapers outside. I just talked about this on yesterday's stream, or the stream before. Landscaping. And I got landscapers outside the window right now. So if you hear any noise, that's what that is all about. All right, MPJ, rebounds and assists. Aaron Gordon, PRA. That's a new one. Mikal Bridges, assists. Howard, yeah, we talked about Mikal Bridges' assists as well. Earlier, we looked at a few different props of his. His assists were grading out really well. 3.5, getting heavy juice to the over on that one. That one was grading out the best out of all his props. So, yeah, if you're looking at Mikal Bridges' assist, I think that's a pretty good one. Ooh. All right. Let's do this. Aaron Gordon, PRA, and then Michael Porter Jr., rebounds and assists. Michael Porter Jr. is a Discord favorite. I feel like these dudes are in my house right now. Like, these fucking leaf blowers are like in my living room right now. High power tools, man. I can hear this shit through walls. All right. Where's MPJ? Is he not on this list? Jokic, Zubac, Mann, Gordon, Leonard, Paul George, James Harden. I'm going to refresh this because there's no reason Michael Porter Jr., unless he's hurt, unless he's been ruled out, there's no reason he should not be on the team. Did he get dismissed for misconduct in a locker room? Did he pull a Joshua Primo? The fuck? Sauce, I can't look him up, man. Am I tripping? All right. I was going to say Michael Porter Jr. is a Discord favorite. We were especially during the playoffs last season, we just hammered the shit out of his rebounds, started hammering the shit out of his rebounds and assists because there was the difference of one, and he was going over his rebounds by so many. He was hitting his rebounds and assists with rebounds alone. And then this year, same thing, especially with Murray out the lineup. So rebounds for Michael Porter Jr., rebounds and assists for Michael Porter Jr. When those lines get put on the board, usually one of the first ones I look at when the Nuggets are playing. Aaron Gordon, PRA, 22.5, I believe. 23.5. Well, it shows 23.5 on props.cash. Look, there is no injury news for MPJ. Dude, what the hell? No idea. What is AG's PRA on Prizepicks? 23.5. All right. So 23.5, 23.5. So it's even, not even line, identical line. Minus 105 on the over, minus 115 on the under. Let's look at the head-to-head matchup first. One game versus the Clippers this season, he went for 30. This is a pretty recent game, less than a month ago. Puts up 30 PRA. Now, I believe this is without Jamal Murray, right? Murray in the lineup. Actually, let's do this. On the season, Aaron Gordon has gone over this line in 71% of his games. When we take out Jamal Murray, this is how we'll know. When we take out Jamal Murray, that game against the Clippers was without Jamal Murray. When Murray's not in the lineup, 80% hit rate for Aaron Gordon. With Murray in the lineup, 57% hit rate. So smaller sample. That's crazy. We have a smaller sample size with Gordon and Murray in the lineup than we do with Murray out the lineup. That's how long he's been out. It should be flipped. So 4 out of 7 games, he's gone over this. So 57% hit rate is not bad. It's just not as good as 71%. So I still think these are super good lines here when we game log. Projections, there is slight juice to the under here. So projections correlate or they match 21.38. If you want to roll the dice on this one because the matchup is one that he has taken advantage of, I think it's I think it's low enough to take the over on for sure. But the only thing that bothers me about guys like Aaron Gordon, like Aaron Gordon, RJ Barrett, the third guy on the team, is that they are behind. They're like third, fourth in the pecking order. So, obviously the offense runs through Jokic. He's such a good teammate. He's trying to get his teammates involved. But when Murray's in the lineup, Murray's taking his shots, right? So Jokic is totally cool with just being like, I'm going to facilitate. I'm going to make sure we win this game. And he'll take it over when he needs to. And Murray is just going to chuck. So and then you got guys like Aaron Gordon and MPJ kind of like getting the scraps. So I would love this more if Murray was out. He's day-to-day right now, but I haven't seen anything to show that he's out of the lineup. But that's that's Aaron Gordon's PRA right there, sitting at 23.5. All right, let's see here. I like Daniel for his points. Howard, you talking about Gafford? I don't know why I thought about Daniel Tice. You talking about Daniel Tice or Daniel Gafford? Or is there a last name Daniel that I'm forgetting about? Boncaro? Reagan, you're so brave, man. Boncaro, I never get him right. I want to like him so much. I have so many of his rookie cards. I want him to do well so badly so I can sell these shits and get them graded. But I can never get him right. But we'll look at his rebounds and assists, 11.5. Let's see. Sauce, points for Cat. Yeah, we talked about his PRA earlier. Points look good and rebounds look good for him. So PRA was strong. Rebounds are his strongest prop in terms of odds. And then points and rebounds. But yeah, all that's in a good line. Let's see. KV, what's up? I was like, Conky. Tyler Conklin? You talking about NFL? What's going on? Conley assist. Boncaro rebounds and assist. What's going on, Javier? Juan, welcome in. Gafford. All right, so Howard, you're talking about Gafford. Yeah. I have his rebounds in a slip. I know it's versus Embiid, but damn, 6.5 rebounds that's two guard shit. That's like James Harden rebound prop, you know? All right, let's see. Where was I? Conley assist and Boncaro rebounds and assists. I'm going to try to get 3. So those are 2. What's the next one? Wagner rebounds. All right, we're going to Zubac rebounds and assists. All right. Yeah, I was looking at Zubac today too. We're already on the Clippers and Nuggets. So let's start with Zubac. We'll go Zubac. We'll go Boncaro rebounds and assists, and we'll go Conley assists. So let's just run through all of Zubac's props. That way I cover everything. I'm going to zoom this into last 10 games. This is what he's done on the season in terms of points. But let's zoom into his last 10, and let's start there. So if you are a believer in the all green jinx, don't play this over on his points because he's not going to hit if you're a believer in the jinx. If you're a believer in just like players playing well, then this looks good for you because he's hit this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10 games, points. Projected for 14 points versus Jokic. Contrary to belief, Jokic is amazing. But Jokic is not the center that's going to make sure you don't eat. He will embarrass you on the offensive end because he's so damn good. But we've seen guys go at Jokic. We've seen players put up good performances against Jokic. Nurkic, Zubac. I recall last season, Nick Claxton having strong games versus Jokic. So I know initially we're like, oh, you can't play players against Jokic. You actually can. I wouldn't pick on him, but if the matchup's there and the odds look good, there's a reason for that. So Zubac, 8.5 rebounds. You got his rebounds and assists at 8.5. Is it still at 8.5? What? Anytime you get a rebounds and assist line and a rebounds line at identical lines, bring a big hammer to the party and hammer the shit out that over, man. 8 rebounds for Zuby, 8.5 rebounds and assist. 11.5 points and assists, 18.5 points and rebounds. 8.5 rebounds and assists. Head-to-head versus Jokic. Back games this season, 16 and 15. I believe Jokic was playing in these games. Projections look good in terms of rebounds and assists, sitting at 10.88. Projections are a little on the lower side, but they are over the given line on Prizepicks at 8.5. That looks strong. Points and rebounds. Hell is that? Points and rebounds, 18.5 over on Prizepicks. So if you're looking at his points and rebounds, you're getting it at a point lower, already getting slight juice to the over. So odds in favor of the over at the higher line. And when we bring this down to 18.5, you're probably looking at something in like the minus 115 range. I got to learn the differences when you reduce and increase. I just think that it'll be closer. It'll be over 110 maybe for the over. I can't see. A 1 point swing is a huge deal in odds. So you got that going for you there. If you are interested in this, because I have played this line at certain times, first half PRA for Zubac, it's there. It is there. If you have the Cajones, you got the Cajones. If you got the Cajones to do the first half lines, 3 out of 5 games versus Denver, over his last 10, 70% hit rate. So Zubac is in a good spot. So much, in fact, we are going to add him to the slip. So this is what I have so far. I removed Bay and I removed Duren. So what I have here, White, Zubac, and I still have Gordon Hayward rebounds in there. As I add more plays, we'll take him out. But I like that one. That was a good find. That was a really, really good find there. 8.5. Conley assists. Oh, yeah. Conley assists and Boncaro. I got so consumed with Zubac. Holy shit. Sorry. Start a fan club for this dude. All right. Conley assist. All right. I see it at 6.5 on Prizepicks. 6.5 on props.cash as well. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight games, 7 out of 10. 5 straight games. So 5 game log, 100% hit rate. We talked about the San Antonio defense and what they're allowing. If you're colorblind, it's a real thing. This San Antonio defense statistics are lighting up all green, which is in favor of us if we're looking to play the over on player props versus the Spurs. If you cannot see this green, it's good. It's good for us. So versus the Spurs, he's hooked it in 1 game versus the Spurs this season. Projections, however, have him getting 7.11, which is over 6.5. So that is working in our favor. Yeah. I mean, this one looks strong. I mean, slight juice to the over. You're getting minus odds on both ends, but you're still getting slight juice to the over on this one. So Conley looks to be in a pretty good spot. Minus 120 across the books, minus 125, 125. Minutes for Conley. Over his last 10, he's averaging 30 minutes. Averaging 30 minutes. If you think Karl Anthony Towns has a good game, if you think Anthony Edwards has a good game, and Mike Conley plays his full run, and those guys are scoring points, then you would assume that Mike Conley is a part of those possessions. 6.5 assists is attainable for sure, especially against the Spurs. So Mike Conley looks to be in a solid spot here. All right, Paolo Banchero, rebounds and assists, 11.5. Are we getting it at 11.5 on Prizepicks? I'm looking. 11. 0.5 lower on Prizepicks. Doesn't change his outputs for the last 10 games, but it does make it easier to hammer the over on a line when it's lower. So over his last 10 games, he's at 60%. Over his last 5, he's at 80%. Head-to-head matchup with the Cavaliers. No matchups this season. However, he does have 3 as a rookie, and he did go over this in 2 out of those 3 games. Rebounds and assists are grading out well in terms of his projections, currently sitting at 12.87 on an 11 rebounds and assists line, so you're over by almost 2. Cavs defense is a little tough, but not impossible to break, right? So I think Banchero's in a good spot. I think it's a fine prop. Unfortunately, based off my personal experience with this man, I can't play it. Like, if he goes over, good for him. But, man, I just have so many ups and downs with him. So there are certain players that I've learned to just stay away. Just stay away. You guys ever see Rocky 2, where Apollo is wanting to rematch with Rocky, and his trainer is telling him, like, don't do it. And then he's like, I saw you beat that man. Like, I never saw a man get beat before, and he kept coming at you. We don't need that kind of man in our life. Well, that's what I feel about Paolo Banchero. I don't need that kind of man in my life. I'm going to leave his ass be. But you can play his rebounds and assists because they are in a good spot to go over. All right. Let's see. What else? We left off at Zubac. Gordon Hayward, points and assists. I like his rebounds. I haven't looked at his points and assists, Darrell. Let's take a look at that. Juan, what's going on, man? Yeah, I like Wemby's PRA. I actually have it in a slip already. I built a slip early this morning. 30.5. I got it at 30.5. I don't know if it's at 30.5 still, but that's where I got it. So I like it. So Hayward, points and assists. Alex, Harden PRA. Oh, Michael Porter Jr. is questionable. Well, shit. Well, there you go. That answers that question. Joker's assists. What's going on, Cody? Yeah, Joker's assists. We'll look at that. They were at 9 when I last saw it. And then Harden PRA. All right. All right. Yeah, Wemby's PRA is still at 30.5. So let's go down to LA. Let's take a look at James Harden. And look at his PRA. So seeing it at 28.5 on Props.cash. 28.5 on Prizepicks. So no difference in the lines there. Slight juice to the under. 4 out of 10 games he's gone over. So 40% hit rate. 40% hit rate over his last 5 and 10 games. Projections are grading out to slightly under 28.5. Why has he not gone over this more? It's a big table in LA. There's a lot of mouths to feed at that table. Kawhi, George, Westbrook, Harden. You got guys coming off the bench now that are in solid spots in that rotation, like Norman Powell. Unless he starts, you got Terrence Mann, who's still in there. So Yeah, there are a lot of players that do score, but the big three, right? Four, Westbrook, big four. It's a lot of mouths to feed, and them dudes are always hungry. So 28.5 PRA for James Harden. Head-to-head matchup. Two matchups this season with the Nuggets. He's gone under. Now, were these blowouts? Harden's seeing 36 minutes in those 3 games. Well, 36 minutes in those 2 games this season. So he's getting his minutes. Is he having bad shooting nights? Well, this will do it. And when you only take 7 shots, you're probably not going to go over very many props. Shooting 43% from the field, but he's only taken 7 shots. 5 3-pointers. I'd like to see James Harden chuck it at least 10 times from 3. He could go 5 for 10 from 3. Free throws are down. This is such a huge part of his game. And when the NBA changed things up and weren't calling those fouls, that really took a huge part of his game away. Damn, look at this shit. It's like the perfect set of stairs on your way down to relevancy. On your way down from the top, man. What do you like about James Harden's PRA? Or do you feel like he is in this particular game, like he is in a better spot than he's been in the last 2 games? I hate looking at these game logs and saying, oh, well, he didn't do it then. He's not going to do it now. We all know that that's not how sports works. But it does give us an idea, especially when it's happened multiple times. There's a reason for that. So I'm curious as to what it is about Denver. Is it their length? Is it their height? Is it their size that they're able to defend better versus guys like James Harden? Because okay, Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon are like 6'10". You got Jokic, who's 7 feet. Jamal Murray's a pretty big point guard. You got KCP out there. They're rangy. So, yeah, I don't know about James Harden's PRA, to be honest with you. It's very possible he goes out there and scores a ton of points and has a great game. We all know that's in his game. But the odds don't seem to like him very much today. Rebounds look good. I don't believe that's on Prizepicks at 4.5. If it is, that's the one you can look at, as well as his assist at 6.5. But man, his PRA is like the odds aren't terrible, right? -106, -110. They're not terrible. But maybe put that one like on the back burner and come back to it in the event you need one play to finish out a slip. But I'm sure as more props come out today, there will be like a wider selection of things for other players. So let's see. James Harden's PRA. MPJ is questionable. All right, cool. Joker's assists. Yeah, we're in the same game. All right, so let's check out Joker's assist. I know this got bumped up. If it's at 9.5 on Prizepicks, yeah, it was at 9 last night. And now it's at 9.5, so we get a slight bump. Projections look good, though. Projections have got him going for 11 assists today. Head-to-head matchups, back-to-back games with the Clips, 10 and 9. But over his last 10, over his last 10, 3 straight games of 14 or more assists. So 3 out of 5 games looks a lot better than 4 out of 10. We all know he's capable of doing stuff like this. I don't really need to like convince you that Jokic is going to go out there and flirt with triple doubles. But the odds are what they are. The game logs are what they are. Projections are what they are. So I liked it at 9, but I don't hate it at 9.5, even though the odds don't look good. I don't hate it at 9.5. Joker's one of those guys too that if you aren't sure about taking the over on this prop, just stay away because it is so scary taking the under on anything from him. Very few times you take the under on his PRA when it just gets like juice so high because he's on such a nice roll, and they will just keep increasing the line. At some point, you got to take the under on that. But it is so scary to take the under on Jokic, anything. So if you don't feel good about the over on this one, I just would leave it alone. Taking the under on Jokic is very very sweaty for sure. All right, let's see. What do you think about Hayward, PA, damn phone? I don't know if I missed it. Let's take a look at Hayward points and assist. And I need to start adding some plays to this slip. I got 3 plays in there. I need at least 2 more plays to finish this slip out, and then I'll where the fuck is Charlie? There it is. And then we'll submit it. All right. Hayward. All right, points and assists. So let's look at his points first. Points, 13.5. Rebounds, 4.5. Assists, 4.5. And then PA. Slight juice to the over on this one at 18.5 on props.cash, but let's see what it is on Prizepicks. 17.5 on Prizepicks. So not going to change anything with his game logs here because there's such a wide gap between the games he goes over and goes under. So there's a lot of area here. So bringing it down 1 point won't change his hit rate over the last 5 or 10 games. But it does make it easier for you to take the over on it because you're getting at a lower line. We already know, well, actually, we don't know. We didn't really cover Chicago's defense too much earlier, but this is Chicago's defense. This is what they're allowing. Bottom of the league in pretty much all categories here. Bottom in rebounds allowed. Bottom of the league in assists allowed. Dead last in 3-pointers. Defensive rebounds, assist and points are what we're looking at here. So these look real good for Gordon Hayward. If you want to take a look at his projections as well, projected for 18.62, which is over 17.5. We already know the injury news coming out of Chicago. Levine is out. Caruso day to day. So LaMelo Ball is damn. I thought he was out for season. I was like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened to his damn ankle? The Ball boys, the Ball brothers on the same injury report. Very confusing if you don't like carefully scroll through this, but LaMelo Ball remains out. Lonzo Ball out for the season. Yeah, I like this one. I like it at 17.5 for sure. That's a good one. I tell you what, I already have played Hayward's. I've already played Hayward's rebounds in a slip, but I'm going to put his points and assist in this slip. So here's what I got so far. Building out this slip based off your player suggestions, based off what we're talking about. We got Kobe White, points and rebounds. We got Zubac, 8.5 rebounds and assists. Wemby's 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And then Gordon Hayward, 17.5 points and assists. That's what we got so far. I want to put one more in there to make it a minimum of a 5-pick flex. I'm not opposed to doing a 6-pick. So let's see. Darrell, thank God they just added Melton on the board, 19.5 PRA. You like that one, Darrell? DeAnthony Melton? Let's look at it together. I love coffee. Coffee cold, coffee hot. Not too hot though. So once that shit burns your lips, then you can't taste anything, and then your day's shot. What am I looking for here? Melton. I got to refresh this page. Sometimes when they add new props to the Prizepicks board, props.cash needs to update, and then we'll just have to refresh it. So once this is refreshed, we'll take a look at Melton. All right. There we go. PRA. Shit. You playing the over on this one, Darrell? 20.5 PRA, but we know it's at 19.5 on Prizepicks. Dropping this down 1 point does not change any of this because this one game he didn't go over. He missed it by fucking 10. But it does, again, make it easier for you to take the over on a line that's 1 point lower. So let's do that. That's really nice. 9 out of 10 games. 90% hit rate, and then 80% hit rate over his last 5. Head-to-head matchup. One matchup versus the Wiz this season, 21 PRA. In that game, he played 26 minutes. He took 10 shots. He made 5 of them, 50% from the field. He took 5 3-pointers. He made 4 out of 5 3-pointers. Yep. That'll do it. That'll do it. The majority of his PRA is coming from what? Points? Yeah. Yeah. Damn. How many of these games were played without Embiid? I mean, Embiid has not sat out a lot this season, but in those games where Embiid does sit, it obviously changes things. So this is his 10 games without Embiid. So he actually plays better with Embiid in the lineup. He actually plays a lot better with Embiid in the lineup. Well, maybe not play better, but his stats are better. Sometimes you can put up a lot of points and not have a good game. Like if you go 10 for 40 from the field, that's not a good game, but you score 20 points, right? But it looks like he's more productive with Embiid on the floor. So yeah, we want Embiid to play in this game. Embiid does not cut into Melton's productivity, right? Like Embiid's going to get his no matter what. DeAnthony Melton has already carved out a role in this offense to where like it's like Embiid proof. Like Embiid can go off, but Melton can still have a nice game. So this is a good one. 19.5 for getting it over on Prizepicks. Washington's defense allows bottom of the league in points, rebounds, and assists. Those just happen to be the 3 categories that make up PRA. So if you like this line and you think this trend continues, this is a pretty solid over on the PRA. Dare we add it to our slip? Dare we add this to our slip? We got that. That would be 5. That would be 5. It's a good one. I like it. I like that one for sure. For sure. Do you suggest this lineup for underdog? What's going on? M2 MIT. I don't know what the lines are on underdog. There's typically not a difference in like lines. Sometimes you'll see different different props altogether. Like I think yesterday on underdog when I was kind of looking through things, fucking Jalen Suggs had like a 2.5 rebound prop or something like that on underdog, but it wasn't available on Prizepicks. You'll see differences like that, but typically if you see something on Prizepicks, you'll find it similar, and you'll find it in other formats at the same line. So the only time it makes a difference if you're on an app like Sleeper where you do get paid differently based off the over unders. You know, you'll see the difference in like winnings if you take the over on an under or under on a prop. On Prizepicks and underdog, it's the same payout regardless. So like it's not like a worse play on underdog or a worse play on Prizepicks. So the lines are pretty much equal. So if you like something on Prizepicks and you find it on underdog, you could play both of them and like double down. You could also like find a line on Prizepicks that might be slightly different than underdog. Like let's say, for instance, I'm just gonna pull a random stat here. Let's say Kyle Kuzma's PRA on Prizepicks is 35. I just realized I'm not sharing my tab. Let's say Prizepicks has Kyle Kuzma at 35.5, but then you see it on underdog at 33.5. You could kind of middle that. You could take the over on underdog at 33 and maybe take the under at 35, something like that. That typically works better on esports like CSGO and League of Legends when you have such huge discrepancies in headshots and kills. But for NBA, you typically don't see like that wide of a gap. But you could definitely play these on underdog if you find them at the same line for sure. Like even if you found like Kobe White on underdog at 21 instead of 21.5, you would take the over on that one. If you like the over on Prizepicks, you got to like the over on underdog if it's at a lower line. So, but it'll vary. Like Prizepicks, underdog, parlay play. I know Sauce plays a lot on Fliff, like straight bets. Every format has a bit of a different layout. So get familiar with how they do things. But for player props, these are all based off books, you know? So like these lines down here, when I pull up props.cash, like these lines here, like these matter. These are what all the other books have this at. So you're going to see that line in or around the same way. If you got this at 19.5 on DraftKings, FanDuel has it at 20.5. So they're all like within 1 point of each other. They can't be too off. They can't. You can't see like DeAnthony Melton on parlay play at 28.5 PRA. Like that's not going to happen. But you might find it like off by 0.5 here and there. Yeah, and underdog's fantasy scoring system is a lot different as well. So we talked about fantasy scores in the previous video or previous stream because I think that's a great source for player props. Like if you are on DeAnthony Melton's PRA, you need to take a look at his fantasy score. I'm not saying you have to play the over on it, but you need to look at his fantasy score and see the difference between his PRA and his fantasy score because it's very rare that a player doesn't go over both. If they go over PRA, they go over fantasy. The only thing that can derail you in fantasy are turnovers. It's like if DeAnthony Melton goes out there and turns the ball over 10 times today, but we took his PRA, we don't give a shit because his PRA is what we're looking at. But if you take the over on his fantasy score and he turns the ball over 10 times, that's minus 10 points. We're screwed. But typically, if you like one, you like the other. Also, if you like a player's fantasy score, it allows you to dig into the other line. So like what consists of fantasy? Points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, turnovers. So then you can start breaking this down and go, I really like the over on this fantasy score. I'm going to look at the individual lines now and see if I can't find an edge. So that's why I like fantasy because it kind of gives you the overall picture. And then from there, you just start breaking it down. But the fantasy scoring system on Underdog is a lot different. If you ever want to like take a look at fantasy score projections for Prizepicks, Google FanDuel projections, Google like NBA FanDuel projections today, because FanDuel offers the same scoring system as Prizepicks. Don't Google DraftKings. DraftKings is a completely different scoring system and it's going to give you misinformation. So FanDuel will give you the correct information. If you want to like see what those projections look on FanDuel, they are going to help you with taking overs and unders on Prizepicks. I learned that. I was looking at the wrong projections for months until I realized FanDuel is where I need to be looking. So I'm on to something with my picks, man. Yeah. Yeah, Darrell. Claxton. I saw somebody post Claxton. Let's see. Shorties. What's going on, man? Nick Claxton over rebounds. Juan, I'll look at Claxton. You don't like Ivica points plus rebounds. Oh, we like all that, Shorty. We talked about Ivica earlier. We're on his rebounds and assists, though, because we're getting at a good line. But we like all his lines. We talked about that earlier. Okay, Butler rebounds and assists, and Claxton rebounds. All right, these will probably be the last two plays that we dig into, and then we'll call it a day. These streams go super long. I get really lost in all these questions because I'm just having such a good time digging into all these props with you all. But then I look at the time, I'm like, oh shit, it's been like an hour already. So let's look up Butler, and then we'll look up who was the other one? Butler, Claxton. All right. Butler rebounds and assists, sitting at 10.5 on props.cash, getting it at 10.5 on Prizepicks. Let's go through all of them. 25.5 points for Butler on props.cash. Everything looks to be on the same page as Prizepicks, so we don't really have to adjust any lines here. So slight juice to the under on his points. Jimmy Butler is another one of those players where I get very scared about taking the under. During last year's finals, it was really easy to take the under on some of his lines because he was physically exhausted. And Prizepicks just kept bumping his shit up. And every game he got more tired and more tired. You could just see it. And I just started taking the under on all his shit, and it was just hitting. I mean, it was easy. When he's not tired and he's healthy, Butler's scary, man. Because that dude can, like, not play worth a damn in the first 30 minutes of the game, and in the last 10 minutes of the game, he goes off for, like, 30 fantasy points. That's Jimmy Butler. And if you got his rotation down, he plays the full first quarter. He sits out the start of the second quarter. He plays the majority of the third, and he comes in midway through the fourth. So you got his rotations down, then it helps you take his first half and second half PRAs and fantasy scores too. So, but Butler today, rebounds, 5.5 rebounds, slight juice to the under. Assists look strong. So this is projected for closer to 6 than it is 5. So that's 6. And you're getting slight juice to the under on his rebounds. So if he gets you 5, that's 11. And that's over 10.5. These two numbers here make up these two numbers, or this number, and it comes out to 10.43. But we can also just look at the odds and say the odds are telling us a different story. The odds are saying there's slight juice to the under. So slight juice, under 5.5, it gives you 5 rebounds. And there's heavy juice to the over on his assist. 6 is probably more in reach than 5 based off this number, and 6 plus 5 is 11. That tells a different story than the projection. So I think his rebounds and assists look strong. Steals and blocks was also one I used to like taking for Jimmy Butler, and Prizepicks started taking that off the board. Playoff Jimmy, steals and blocks. Playoff Jimmy, steals and blocks, and playoff MPJ over rebounds. Those were always good ones to take. All right, I think the last one we're going to take a look at is Nicholas Claxton. I need this dude to step up. I have so many of his damn rookie autographs. I think after he cut his dreads, he just lost his mojo. I think that's the deal. I think they need to like fix that one. What'd you get his rebounds at? 8.5? Well, if I can spell Claxton. It's at 9 right now on Prizepicks. So even though it's at 9 on Prizepicks, you're still getting it at 0.5 lower on Prizepicks because some of these books have it at 9.5. So let's bring it down to 9, and that does make a slight difference. Atlanta's defense does allow the 17th most rebounds in the league at 44. No projections for Claxton. That's okay. Head-to-head matchups, so take a look at that. Man, Claxton pissed me off that one time I talked about him. I think it was a video play. I took the under on his rebounds at 8.5. And he goes out and gets 8 rebounds in the first half. And then he just gets 1 in the second half. And that was it. He finishes with 9. I much would have rather him finish with like 20 rebounds and just be like, I was way off on that one. But to get 9 on an 8.5 line, oh, that pissed me off. It's like, I just felt so tilted. But against Atlanta, 11 rebounds in his lone meeting this season, less than 3 weeks ago. So Claxton's in a good spot too. I like it. Atlanta's got a tough front court with Capella and Okongwu. They don't play side by side, but they just flip in and out. I just really think the Jalen Johnson not being in that lineup really kind of throws things off a little bit. But yeah, I could definitely see Claxton getting the over on this one. If you got it at 8.5, fantastic. I don't mind it at 9, but I think 8.5 was the play. That was the play. All right, let's see. Appreciate that, M2. Appreciate that. All right, let's pop back over to Prizepicks very quickly. So here are the 5 that we have in this slip so far. We got Melton, Hayward, Wembanyama, Zubac, Kobe White. We do not have to play 6 in this one. 5 is fine. 5 is fine. I can easily double down and say I'm just going to throw one of my plays in there from today's video. But I have already played those plays, and I don't like to double down too much on certain plays. I like to spread out the props a little bit. But I'm just going to do a really, really quick scroll through here and just see if there's anything that is standing out to me today. What about that Strus? What about the Strus play? I know I initially shied away from it because the matchup with Orlando kind of scared me off because Orlando's pretty tough. But no Karis LeVert. No Karis LeVert today. What were we looking at? Points and rebounds? Rebounds and assists? Points and assists? PRA. Points and rebounds. It's at 17.5. Getting the minutes, getting the shots. I don't know. That's a good one, Juan. 8.5 is strong. 8.5 is strong. Let's see. You know what? We're just going to keep it at 5. I really want to go 6. We're going to keep it at 5 for this slip. We're going to put, we'll put 15 on it. Okay. So 15 on a 5 pick. So if it hits, then we'll figure out like a 3. I just submitted it. I didn't have the tab. I wasn't sharing the tab. So here it is. I just submitted it. 10 a.m. submitted. So if it hits, I think like a 3-tier giveaway, I'll figure it out. If you want to be included in that giveaway, should this hit, once this video posts to the channel, leave a comment in the just leave a comment on the actual YouTube comment section, because the chat that we have going on here, it doesn't count as a comment. It's not going to be visible. So once this publishes to YouTube, leave a comment so that I know that you were in the stream, and then you'll be included in the drawing if this hits. That way I don't miss anybody. So do that for me if you want me to do that giveaway, and that's how we'll do that. Let me pop back in real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, everybody, thank you all so much for stopping by this live stream. Been fun. Always fun doing these live streams. I truly appreciate y'all taking the time out of your day to just hang out with me and just talk sports. This is fun stuff. Very, very fun stuff. If you haven't joined the Discord, find the link in the video description, stream description, 100% free. I post a lot of my slips over there, and you get those slips. You get those slips early. You get the plays early, especially on days where we don't have a lot of games. Those lines bump fast. If you want to beat the bumps, be in the Discord. We're always on top of shit in the Discord in terms of getting plays out early the night before. So make sure you're taking care of yourself that way. If you have any other questions, pop in the Discord, hit me up, send me a private message. We can chop it up. But best of luck to you all. You tell my plays, you tell any of the plays we talked about, you tell this slip. I'll share this slip in the Discord also if you want to tell it. That way you can copy it. But best of luck to you all. And until my next live stream, Chavez is